Greetings. This is the proposed 2022 budget for the Finance Division of the City of Columbia Heights. Within the Finance Division, there is the Finance Department, the Utility Billing Department, and the Information Systems Department. For 2022, the big news for the Finance Department and Utility Billing Department will be the first full year of use of a new software system for use for all financial activity, all utility billing activity, as well as human resources. This replaces an old legacy system that's been in place for nearly 35 years, and the use of this system and the development of city processes around this system really drive the significant changes in the 2022 budget over the 2021 budget. As you see from this four-year comparison, the 2022 total budget of $987,300 is the same as the current 2021 budget. However, there is a significant shift from personnel services to other services and charges. In fact, with the implementation of the new system, the Finance Department has reduced staffing by one full-time equivalent and restructured some of the duties with the remaining existing positions. At the same time, there are additional charges, significant additional charges for annual software maintenance, as well as an allowance for professional services and programmers to integrate other systems the city has with the new financial software. Within the Utility Billing Department, there is a proposed increase for 2022 of 5.8%. The largest element of this is an increase in credit card fees and related third-party processor charges, which reflects the significant new customer options that are available under the new financial software. The ability, for example, to set up a recurring payment from a credit card account rather than just only a bank account is now something that's available to customers. Similarly, there's an option to pay by PayPal and a number of features that just simply haven't been available to the customers before. Accordingly, there are certain processor costs associated with this increased number of features. However, overall, there will be an efficiency gained by implementing these new features, and it will in the long run hold down staffing costs that would be otherwise required to process these customer payments in less efficient ways. Another item for 2022 is $5,400 to rent certain meter reading equipment on what are now obsolete types of water meter radios. So residential meters within the city are read by a radio system, and the city is currently gradually switching to a modern current technology for those radios and meters, but there are several thousand old technology radios still out there on residential meters at this point. As it happened, the equipment the city owned to read the old style radios has died and is no longer functioning. It's not practical to buy a new reading unit at this time because of the expectation that the city will replace all of the old style radios in the coming years, and so it's more cost effective for now to rent the old reading equipment for a couple of years until the mass replacement can get going. Not to be outdone, the Information Systems Department has a set of significant changes itself for 2022. Those are broken out into three types of increases here on this slide. First off, there is a 3% inflationary increase on all existing services and staffing in the department. There is an increase of 6% to pay for annual costs of new software used for records retention purposes throughout the city. And finally, the largest element, a 48% increase of $200,000 allows the city to implement the first year of a 5-year strategic plan for improving its technology. This first year phase of the 5-year plan includes adding a full-time division head level technology position to the department. So for 2022, the department will go from 3 full-time equivalents to 4 full-time equivalents. In addition, the $200,000 provides for other infrastructure improvements that are outlined in the 5-year plan. Each of these 3 increases in the information systems budget are funded by a different mechanism for 2022. The 3% inflationary increase on existing services is funded by internal charges to city departments, which have been in place for several years. The 6% increase for records retention software used by all city departments is funded by fund balance from the Information Systems Fund. And the large increase for the first year of the 5-year strategic plan is funded by general fund property taxes levied for the first time in 2022. And so, the question you may be asking yourself is, why now? Why now a strategic plan for technology? It's a significant 5-year investment, and it may take several years for the city to reap many of the benefits of this investment. Well, there are 3 main points to keep in mind. Historically, the city's process for budgeting and managing information systems and technology has been mostly reactive and not proactive, which is to say, changes were only implemented after a need already existed and not planned to be in place by the time the need existed. And that's clearly not an ideal way to run an organization that serves a community of 20,000. Secondly, and this is somewhat of a generational thing, but there's been recent rapid growth in the expectations by city departments and the general public for a more modern type of technology experience. You might call it the Amazon experience, if you will. Whereas the existing information systems department was designed really at the time when, just as one example, email was only just beginning to be used by city departments. Perhaps most importantly, in 2020, the City Council developed a goals report, and in that goals report, there was an objective of improved technology for the city. To develop the 5-year plan, the city contracted with the external consulting firm Skeens of McKinney, Texas. This is a firm which specializes in advising governments on technology and technology planning. And this slide outlines the 4-phase process that was used to develop the 5-year strategic technology plan. It began with data gathering, which included extensive management surveys and interviews with all city departments. It went on to an assessment phase, which analyzed the existing technology infrastructure and organizational structure, and perhaps most importantly, provided a financial and staffing benchmarking in comparing the city's expenditures and staffing for technology to other communities, and that showed that historically the city has significantly underspent and understaffed relative to other communities. That is the main support for the large request of $200,000 for the 2022 budget. Next, those assessments and the data gathered in the first phase were put into recommendations and reviewed with management for prioritization, which then led to a detailed 5-year strategic plan, which is made available to the City Council in September of 2021. Additional information on each of the departments that make up the Finance Division is available in the City Manager's 135-page proposed 2022 budget on the city's website at the link provided here. Thank you.